Hello, beautiful people. Thomas in New York. We're in probably Farmingdale, New York, paying our respects to. If you watch David Letterman, a name that in the early years I'm sure you'll be very familiar with. Let's talk about him. I hope all is well. And his name was Calvert Grant DeForest, right there on the bottom. He passed away in 2007, but he was known as Larry Bud Melman. Mr. Melman of David Letterman fame. Now listen, I was a big David Letterman fan personally. You know, the host that you have out now, I wouldn't even be able to tell you right now. I know you have Fallon and, Kimmel, but that's, just in general. I guess as you grow older, you have less time. But I was a big David Letterman fan of the late night. And where to begin? I mean, with, man, Bud, Larry, he was a comic genius. His late blossoming career began with a New York University student film project called King of Disease. And these were by future Letterman writers who brought Calvert, or, Larry, along when they joined the late night writing staff. And, Calvert's face was the first thing to greet viewers. It was kind of a very funny looking, type of a face. And it offered a parody of the, of a film in Frankenstein. It was the greatest thing that had happened in my life, he once said. His facial expressions, he was beautiful at it, and that's the first thing. So on Letterman, on late night, he played the role of Larry Bud Melman, but he really didn't have like a fixed or defined role on the show. He was simply like an older, short, type of a harmless man with a thick black framed glasses who was seen relatively frequently, especially in the early years. Now, in the first few years of the show, the character was somewhat of an entrepreneur, appearing in ads for Melman bus lines, as well as for Mr. Larry's Toast on a Stick. That's the bread's answer to popsicles. He was also the producer of the show as head of Melman Productions, although, that character, this facet of the character was dropped soon. The character's teenage son, Troy Chipper Melman, who rarely spoke and usually just coughed uncontrollably, was seen occasionally alongside his father in various ads as well. So he did like a lot of these sketches, you get it, these type of things. Outside the pre-taped ads for Larry, so he was also like given like odd chores to perform, such as he would like hand out hot towels to arrivals at the Port Authority bus terminal. Right. Other times, he would give pre-scripted answers to unlikely audience questions, or he would appear unexpectedly to kind of heckle Letterman or the audience. And he also appeared numerous times as Kenny the gardener, offering dubious gardening advice to home viewers, followed by a song performed in a tuneless but enthusiastic style. And occasionally he would just simply wander onto the stage during Letterman's monologue, as if lost, then leave without saying anything. Just exit stage left, right? A hallmark of that character was seemingly that it was genuine lack of, like, that he wasn't even acting like it, like that was him. That's how it seemed, right? Like, this is the actual guy. Melman's scripted lines were clearly read from cue cards and usually delivered in a forceful shout, but when Letterman or others forced him into ad-libbing, the actor naturally, more soft-spoken and polite demeanor, came to the forefront. So Melman routinely flubbed or mangled his lines, but he would just, even though he would just pull it off somehow, right? In whatever sketch he was in. He was also noted, he did a lot of remote interviews. The Republican National Convention, or, other remote interviews in which he would ask the interviewee a question, but pitch the microphone to the interviewee too quickly, resulting in the last part of the question being inaudible to Dave and the audience. And as a result of his, frequent appearances, he became hugely popular with the fans of late night, often being greeted with loud cheers. He'd always be greeted in applause before even speaking. So he was a comic legend. Like, honestly, like, sometimes I watch the old tapes and I wonder, like, if he was if he was in on it, or was he not, or was that genre, like, you never knew. And that was the beauty of it. Like, the sketches, they were beautifully done. The ads, and it was amazing. It was amazing work by him. So if you're familiar with Letterman, he moved from NBC to CBS, right? And the Melman name was retired. NBC insisted that the character of Larry Bud Melman was their intellectual property. So, starting from the first edition of The Late Show with David Letterman, which was on CBS, DeForest, which is, his real name, he would just use that name. He was just using, his name now, but he portrayed exactly the same character that he, portrayed on Late Night, if you're following it. So, same character, different name. And he drew, laughs by his bizarre, just, position, just as standing, just as being. They send him out to, like, events like Woodstock. Yeah, so, I mean, they would send him out to events like Woodstock. They send him out to the Olympics. Just this doofy little guy, just out there and about. Wait, let me fix the camera on this here. Much better. Okay, this is the final resting spot. Calvert DeForest, Larry Bud Melman, he passed away in 2007. He was cremated and his remains were placed here. There was no funeral, just a service. Located Viola Court, East Gallery, sections 283, row 283 to 291, rather, right on the corner here. It's pretty easy to find the buildings here. This is the Pine Lawn Cemetery. The buildings are listed in alphabetical orders. They're listed after flowers, so you'll see that what building you need to be. And if you go through the back, where you see that construction there, it's all the way at the end, and you make a left. The back of the building, not the front with the doors, but the back. and it's pretty easy to find. Man, again, just a comedic genius, an absolute genius. Almost like a sidekick. I mean, they're others that have come close, but I think that Bud Melman was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in that role.
The night before Christmas, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Oh, now I gotta read Spanish. Je pourquoi avez-vous? Oh. Not a creature was stirring.
I think one of the most memorable skits came on Letterman's May 13th, 1994. The host stated Johnny Carson would announce the evening's top 10 list, at which point DeForest appeared as Johnny Carson. Shortly after DeForest's exit, the real Johnny Carson appeared in what would be Carson's last television appearance. Larry or DeForest, he continued to appear on Letterman until his 81st birthday in 2002 before retiring. He had appeared in what would be, I think, 15 outside films or TV shows because of his association with Letterman all way back when in 1982. Now, Dave, after DeForest's death, said, quote, "Everyone always wondered if Calvert was an actor playing a character, but in reality, he was just himself, a genuine, modest, and nice man. To our staff and to our viewers, he was a beloved and a valued part of our show, and we will miss him." When asked how he would like to be remembered, DeForest responded, "Just being able to make people laugh and knowing people enjoyed my humor. I also hope I haven't offended anyone through the years." The great, famous Larry Bud Melman. Very comedic genius. Early days of David Letterman. This is Thomas in New York. I must skedaddle. I bid you adieu.
I brought some nose stoves. Here we go.
Actually, it'd be like no-dos, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it too late to change my order to steak tartare? And then